Okay, so have you ever, stay up late wondering about hell?
I think a lot of people have.
Yeah. It's one of those big topics, and we're going to take a deep dive on this today. What does the Bible actually say about hell?
Yeah, it's not always what people think.
Right. And we're looking at an excerpt today called, What is Hell, According to the Bible?
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. So when we talk about hell in the Bible, we got to start with this word, Gehenna. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, Gehenna, I mean, it comes up in the New Testament, right?
Yeah, it does. And it wasn't like some mystical, made-up place.
Oh, it was an actual place, like a physical location.
Yeah, it was a valley outside of Jerusalem.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And basically, you can think of it as a massive garbage dump.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Where they burn trash and sometimes even the bodies of criminals.
Wow, that's pretty intense imagery.
Yeah. It's not a pleasant picture. So when Jesus talked about Gehenna, he wasn't just trying to scare people, right?
Right. He was using it as a metaphor for something much bigger.
Yeah.
It was a metaphor for the consequences of, rejecting God and being separated from him.
So it's not just about physical death.
No, it's about something more. It's about a spiritual death. And there's a verse in Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. It says, "Do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell."
So it's about our souls being destroyed, being separated from God.
Exactly. And that separation from God is what's really being described as hell. It's being cut off from God's love, from his goodness.
And we see all of this really intense imagery in the Bible too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like lake of fire.
Yeah, outer darkness.
Yeah, eternal destruction. It sounds pretty terrifying.
Yeah, it does. And those images are found in Revelation chapter 20, verse 10, and Matthew chapter 25, verse 30. But, it's important to remember that some scholars believe that those images, those descriptions, they could be symbolic. Not necessarily literal flames and darkness, but they're meant to capture the severity, the reality of being separated from God.
So it's more about the feeling, the emotional state of being cut off.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm curious, was hell originally intended for people?
That's a good question. And in Matthew chapter 25, verse 41, it actually says that hell was prepared for the devil and his angels. So it wasn't originally meant for humans.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The idea is that humans choose to be separated from God.
Through their actions.
Yeah, through their actions, through their choices, their refusal of God's forgiveness.
So it's not like God sending people to hell.
Right.
It's more like people choosing a path that leads them there.
Exactly. And the Bible is really clear that God is merciful. He desires everyone to be saved. But ultimately, the choice lies with us.
So hell isn't necessarily about the specific place.
Yeah.
It's more like a state of being.
Yeah. It's a state of being separated from God. It makes me wonder about the choices we make in our own lives. What choices are we making that bring us closer to God?
Yeah, or further away.
Exactly.
That's something to really think about.
It is.
This deep dive, it's definitely given us all a lot to consider. There's always more to learn about this topic.
For sure.
It's fascinating and complex.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.